Alright, what's going on? It's been a while, but I have a little bit of free time right now, so I figured I would try and get one of these recorded. I had already recorded and even begun to edit the same video with like showing all of the same shit here. But when I started to edit, first of all, a lot of the video was blurry. I just wasn't paying attention. But also, like, I ran out of steam real fucking quickly, and that's happened the last few times I've made a video. I just hate the filming process of this shit. For me, the fun comes with the editing. So, you know, that's part of the reason why it's been a couple weeks. But, you know, what are you gonna do? I have sleeping Orlock over there, but he doesn't seem to mind that I'm talking pretty loudly, so whatever. Last time I filmed this video, I showed a couple 7-inches with all these 12-inch records. I didn't pull them out this time, so there's not much else to say. So I guess we could probably just get into it. In the background, we're listening to, if you can hear it, which you might not be able to, we're listening to Lurker of Chalice. And I'm referring, of course, to the full-length album. Because recently I got this in from Nuclear War Now. I'm sure you guys have probably seen this. I don't know if anybody has shown one or not. But this is the box set that Nuclear War Now just did. It's got a little fucking latch on it. But basically this comes with the 2 Lurker of Chalice, like, official releases. So the full-length album and then Tellurian Slaked Furnace. And it also includes this metal pin that just says Lurker of Chalice. But yeah, real nice. Both of them have gold shells. Yeah, man, fucking cool. I don't know that you can get the box anymore, but I know Nuclear War Now should probably still have the individual releases. So if you don't have, you know, the new Tellurian Slaked Furnace release, then this might be a good avenue to get it relatively cheaply. I really want to talk more in depth about this, so I might just pull it out and talk about it in a future video, because I have the LP. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to make another, like, non-metal video, so maybe I'll prioritize it and maybe that'll come next. So yeah, that's what we're listening to, if you can hear it. One of my favorite fucking albums ever. But yeah, let's get into it. This is all black metal stuff, not really by design. I kind of just pulled some shit out, and this is just what they all happen to be. A couple of these I've had for a while now, just never got around to showing. This one is relatively new though, what we're gonna start with. This has been close to the top of my want list for quite a while now, and you know, I've heard tale of a fucking repress, but you know, I've waited long enough, and this one wasn't, you know, prohibitively expensive or anything. This is Celestial Bloodshed with Cursed, Scarred, and Forever Possessed. For those of you who aren't familiar with Celestial Bloodshed, this is a Trondheim band that formed back in like 2000 and didn't put out a full-length album until 2008, which was this one, the debut. There was only 2. I have the second one as well. It was called Omega. But it's nowhere near as good as this one. Now, one of the weird things about this band is in 2011 their vocalist was murdered, and half of this band's releases were like posthumous releases, so like they came out after the band was no longer a band anymore, because I think there's 6 releases total, and the full-length album, and then I think 2 7-inch EPs or something came out after the band was not even a band anymore. And like I said, I have the second album, and I also have the Serpent's Kiss 7-inch, which is one of the ones I showed last time I tried making this video. I'll get around to it eventually. I have a bunch of 7-inches I could probably just show in one video. But this is the first one, like I said, from 2008. So being that this is a Trondheim Norwegian black metal band, you could probably puzzle out that like the guys who made up this were probably in a bunch of other bands, and they were. I mean, the guys who made up Celestial Bloodshed also made up parts of One Tail, One Head, and Ritual Death, and Darvaza, Chaos Ritual. Bunch of other bands that are also pretty notable in that scene. But this album specifically is one of my favorites in that sort of Tron time black metal circle. This is fucking fantastic. There's a great mixture on this one of like slow, hypnotic tunes to sort of balance out the faster, more high energy moments on this one. Like specifically the song Gospel of Hate, man. It's a short one, but it's probably my favorite song on here. The vocals on this one are deeper and maybe more hellish sounding, maybe something like more closely approximating death metal. And the LP was 666 copies, put out through Deborah Morty and Territor Possessions. And the album cover is super cool, man. That's the vocalist there. The guy who died. You can see the logo on the cover, sort of like spot gloss, which is cool. There's the back cover there with the labels at the bottom, and you have all the track listing. This is a gatefold, and on the gatefold you have the pictures of the 3 band members. I like that they're sort of named Cursed, Scarred, and Forever Possessed. That's pretty cool. This is just on black vinyl, so nothing overly special. Though you do get a printed inner sleeve, just a skull, like a Baphomet and a circle of candles. And then you have another picture, but one of the things that's weird is like, these are lyrics, but they're kind of placed on here as like they're overlapping each other, so not one of these songs you can read the full lyrics to, which is a little bit annoying, but whatever. So yeah, man, if you've never heard Celestial Bloodshed, I'd give it a shot. The first song on here, Cursed, Scarred, and Forever Possessed, the title track after the intro, is a really good like summation of the entire record. Like I said, I think Gospel of Hate's probably my favorite song, but yeah, I'll definitely use one of those for the song clip. But check it out if you've never heard it, man. The Celestial Bloodshed with Cursed, Scarred, and Forever Possessed. Alright, from Norway to the Czech Republic, this is a band that didn't last very long, and why this band sort of ended is unclear to me at least, but this is NHAAVAH. This is the compilation of the 2 NHAAVAH releases, Kings of Czech Black Metal from 1998, and the Detriment, Detestation, and Devastation, their songs from the split with Catharsis from 1999. And that's all this band did. They only ever existed from 96 to 99, with their last release coming out in 99, like I said. And then there was basically nothing until this was just put out through Go to War X. So I don't know if you can tell, but this is basically half of the early lineup of Maniac Butcher. It's pretty fucking obvious just looking at it, because this is basically a Maniac Butcher cover. But they kind of existed in a time like right after Maniac Butcher had like already started being a band, and these guys were in that band. And it's not like this is night and day fucking different from Maniac Butcher. It's a bit more like raw and feral sounding, but you know, I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe these 2 dudes just wanted to do their own thing on top of it, but basically just totally used the exact same aesthetic. So I know this compilation, I guess, officially came out in 1999. I'm not sure what physical media it was actually like put to before the vinyl, which came out last year. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't know. It's a cool thing to have. This one was relatively accessible despite it being a Go to War X release, because like I'd be caught fucking dead before, you know, waiting up all night on whatever Go to War X is fucking doing. I love the fucking cover because it's absurd, and it's, like I said, it's basically a Maniac Butcher cover. And then down here you have the 2 covers that made up the releases that makes up this compilation. You get an Obi strip, as with all of the Go to War X shit. Back cover there you have another picture of the band members, and you have all the track listing and just some credits and shit. On the back of the Obi strip it says no keyboards, no female vocals, which is another Maniac Butcher thing, as well as, you know, the original shit being put out on Pussy God Records. But under that it says we prefer to use mouths of girls for totally different activities. I don't know. You do have some lyrics on an inner sheet, which for the dignity of the band probably should have been left out. On the back, you just have basically the album cover. But yeah, man, fast, raw, feral black metal. It's, like I said, it's not all that different from the early Maniac Butcher shit. This does, by the way, say in memoriam of Blasphemer, the true king of Czech black metal. I think that's this guy here. I think it says it on the back. I probably should have looked. Yeah, Baldy. So check it out if you've never heard it. You can probably still get your hands on this relatively easily if you want to. That's NHAAVAH with Kings of Czech black metal. This next band is one that I really gushed about in the Best of 2019 video that I made. And for good reason. I didn't talk about this release. I talked about the full-length album that this band put out last year. But very soon afterwards, it was announced that Nuclear War Now was also doing the demo on vinyl. And I'm talking, of course, about this. This is a Departure Chandelier with the Black Crest of Death, the Gold Wreath of War. So this is the first release, and like I said, it came in the form of a demo from 2011. And this one's only 4 tracks, and that's 4 tracks including an intro and an outro. So 2 real, actual songs on this one. This release, and especially the first one, is a very synth-heavy, trancey take on black metal, which I fucking adore. The first song it's pretty repetitive, but that never bothers me when it's sort of like slow and hypnotic. In fact, I think it, you know, adds to the song, given that the band is a good band who knows how to write a good song. The second song on this one, Consecrating the Flame of Resistance, is a bit faster and more aggressive. I definitely prefer the title track, the first real song on this one. Yeah, man, it's not as good. This isn't as good as the full-length album by a long shot, and I've never really talked about the full-length album in this format before, but I'll probably get around to it one day. Yeah, man, this is fucking great. I like the album cover a lot. I like that this band sort of uses sort of old-looking paintings as their covers. I think it fits nicely. There's the back cover right there. It says Napoleonic War Black Metal, and then you have the track listing. You have a little write-up here. I don't exactly know what this is, and I'm not going to read it here. But it does say originally released 2011 as an edition of 500 demo cassettes on Tour de Garde. So I think that was it until this vinyl release, which came out earlier this year. I think it was this year, and I'm sure you guys saw, but this band also put up like a new demo or EP or something called Dripping Papal Blood. I think that's what it was called, but it was just on Bandcamp, so no physical releases for that one just yet, and no word on whether or not it'll get one as far as I know. This does include an inner sheet here, 3 band members. It's been talked about a million times before, but the guys who make up this are also guys from the bands Kitza and Ashpool. Yeah, I don't know. But there's the other side right there, whatever the fuck that is. But it does say The Torture of Life. This does come with a big poster, but just like the poster for the full-length album, it's not all that good. And this is a big square, which is kind of useless for me. But there you go. And the vinyl is just black. Very exciting. So yeah, man. I haven't listened to this one as much as I have the full-length album, but this is a great fucking record. And if you've never heard it, never heard Departure Chandelier, don't start with the full-length album. But this is super good. If you wrote this off for any reason, you should really reassess. That's Departure Chandelier with the Black Crest of Death, the Gold Wreath of War. From this next up is actually another Trondheim Norwegian black metal band. This is One Tail, One Head with Worlds Open, Worlds Collide. So I briefly mentioned One Tail, One Head a little bit earlier when I was talking about Celestial Bloodshed. And as you guys are familiar with that, I'm sure you're familiar with this as well. This is the very final release from One Tail, One Head from back in 2018. It was also their only full-length album. So One Tail, One Head is a pretty high energy band for the most part. And what I like about this is, though they are used sparingly, the moments on this when it really like slows down and creates this really creepy atmosphere, man, that shit is hot as fuck. And I think because of that contrast, those slower, creepier moments are my favorite on the release. And I don't know, man, there's just sort of like a frenetic quality to this band. In the music and in the vocals. The vocals, if you've never heard One Tail, One Head, they're sort of more like raspy, yelled vocals, but it is dotted with these moments of just like howling. I don't know, man, this is a great record. It's kind of a bummer to see this band go. I don't exactly know if it was ever like disclosed why this band was separating, but I would have loved to see them live. I've always heard how good of a live band it was, so it's a bit of a bummer, but whatever. There's the album cover for you. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to be. Back cover right there just has a shot of the 4 band members, or their silhouettes anyway. Does come with an inner sleeve with some lyrics and just some credits on the other side. I do believe that this was available on like a maroon colored vinyl, but what was available to me was black, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, man. If you've never heard One Tail, One Head, there was a compilation of the EPs. I would recommend just playing that because, you know, it's just a better summation of everything this band did. But this record, you can't go wrong with it. It's really, really good. And like I said, I'm sad to see this band go, but at least they went out on a high note, man. That's One Tail, One Head with Worlds Open, Worlds Collide. Let's finish fucking strong. This is a band that you know, pretty much everything that I've ever seen pop up somewhere, I buy it. And, you know, obviously this was no exception. I had to go looking for this one though, because it was sold out from everywhere by the time I, you know, went looking. This is BEHERIT with At the Devil's Studio, 1990. So, back in 1990, BEHERIT released 4 demos. So they were obviously a busy set of dudes back then. And I guess with the studio time, or the time they spent recording, they also recorded what was, I guess, supposed to be their debut album. This wasn't officially released until 2011. So, you know, obviously there was a bit of a gap there. From what I read, it had to do with some bullshit going on with Turbo Music, and I think, you know, that story is kind of well known. So I'm not going to get into it here because it doesn't really matter. But, you know, though a lot of these songs, apart from I think 2 of them, if you don't count the intro, then, or if you count the intro, I guess it's 3, songs that were like previously unreleased. But even all the other songs on here that had been previously released, these are different versions of those songs. You know, this is definitely more of like the sort of Black Death style that like bestial war metal shit that BEHERIT did at the very beginning. Basically everything leading up to Drawing Down the Moon. And it's cool to hear like Nocturnal Evil, like a different version of that song. You know, being that Drawing Down the Moon is just one of my favorite fucking records. It's pretty cool, and I think the songs that are on like The Oath of Black Blood, I think The Oath of Black Blood was just had a bit more of like a wall of noise quality, so it's nice to hear I guess more clear versions of those songs. Some of those songs anyways. You get it. Basically it's just different versions of songs we've heard before with a couple extras. The super cool addition to the band's discography in my opinion. But you can obviously see his classic fucking Chris Moyen art here. And the art was done back in 1990. There's the back cover right there. It's put out through Hell's Headbangers. So you have a picture and you have all the track listing there. And when I went looking for a version of this, and I've had this for a couple years now, when I went looking for a version of this, I wanted this version here, which is the white vinyl with black splatter. Just super fucking nice, man. I have a bunch of records that look like this now, but yeah. Very cool. So yeah, man, BEHERIT is definitely a band that sort of ran the gamut in terms of like styles of music. But I fucking love every last one of them. And that includes the sort of more bestial war metal sounding shit, if you want to call it that. I don't give a fuck either way. But yeah, awesome, cool shit. BEHERIT at the Devil Studio. I feel like I talked pretty quickly through this one, and I feel like once it's edited down, it's not going to be all that long. So, sorry. But yeah, I'm probably going to spend the rest of my day being a lazy piece of shit. I might try and get some of this edited, maybe. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So, thanks for sticking around, and we'll talk soon, guys. Later.
I can feel the fire that burns eternal.